Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video I'm going to talk about a few things. I think I'm going to go online and look at the AI on what it has to say about highly sensitive people. You know, I used to make videos about that, but I was never like many of them who would. Too many of them, I shouldn't say to each their own. But some people, I wasn't into this mystical, magical stuff. You know, it's some kind of mystical, magical thing to be an empath. I remember there was a really popular author who wrote books about empaths. It was a trilogy. It was fiction, romantic fiction. I don't know what they call it now. You know, so many things change over time on what they call it and even the grammar that they use. But, yeah, and I think that some people may have read those books and thought of it as, you know, to be an empath was something magical. Or they were born with it. How would they know? Anyway, oh really, how would you know you were born with it? How far back does your memory go? Anyway, I personally think mine, I'm very, you know, it was just part of who I am. I wasn't born with it. I just don't agree. And to each their own. Like I said, you can disagree with me. But, I think mine was I'm not saying this about all parents, mother, father, whomever experienced this, but, and I know some people think it's only one, but my mother suffered from postpartum depression after she had me. She never really got over it. Seriously, honestly, never got over it. And she had 5 kids. I was the 4th. And she resented me for being born. She actually told her mother, who was a nurse, or had been before, I don't know how many years before, but she told her mother, I was standing right there as a child and heard her tell her mother that I ruined the childhood of the sister born before me, the child born before me, by being born so early. I ruined it. I really had nothing to do with it. But illogical people, you know, when somebody's being illogical, you know, and then my siblings had heard such kinds of things, and they basically took it all out on me too. That was my childhood. I've been estranged from my family for many years. I've had, you know, every blue moon, some legal stuff for this or that or the other over the years, but nope. I'm estranged, my choice, by choice, and my choice. But anyway, but I'm a highly sensitive person. I am you know, which I used to do videos on highly sensitive people. And, like I said, you know, people who can actually experience empathy, empaths. But I don't take that, like I'm saying, I don't take that mystical, magical thing. Oh, let's make it all, you know, like we're some special beings. When maybe we're just normal. Period. We're just normal. The other people are the ones that are special in not a good way. You know, somehow mentally disordered. It could be that. It could just be different types of people. You know, some people have experienced a lot of empathy because of what they've seen in their life. Like I was saying, my mother had postpartum depression after me. I had to learn things other people didn't early on, and understand. You know, as I say, I had to learn a lot just to get food when I was young. Learned a lot to know when to have those. Yeah, I could go on and on. But anyway, I want to start focusing a little more attention. I ran across something the other day that reminded me that I used to do these videos. I've been making videos. August will be 11 years on my original channel. And 11 years. 11. And so it's, you know, I've done videos on various topics. But I want to do more on this, but I want it well known. Nothing mystical, magical. But I do want to talk about, and the whole thing about highly sensitive. There were more than one way. There was more than one way that people saw that too. The highly sensitive could be just more of a physical thing, and and some saw it as more as there were like an empath. They could sense things that other people couldn't sense. And sometimes, like I say, it's just the differences in people, but we'll see. Okay, and by the way, I am sitting outside here in north central Texas, north of Dallas, June 8th, 2025. It's 4:40 p.m. My SUV says it's 93 degrees Fahrenheit, of course. My cell phone was saying 97. Ooh, did you just see a flash on my cell phone? But anyway, I'm in the shade in front of my house in the driveway, and like I was saying, my cell phone's in 97 degrees, but the heat index was 111. 111, really, seriously. Okay, and I had this directed toward the sky, but the clouds just keep disappearing. And we're supposed to have, it was actually supposed to start at 5, and now they're saying 6. The time it's supposed to start has been changing like every time I turn around. But we're supposed to have really, really bad, seriously bad weather. We're talking thunderstorms all the way to tornadoes, 80-mile-per-hour winds. That's what it said on the weather, and I guess it was, how would it be, Texas weather? It's the I would say Texas weather from our cable. What do you call it these days? It's changed how you define it. Our Wi-Fi, our cable, our eyes, our what do you call them has changed. But yeah, that service. Cell phones, this, that, the other, whatever. Smart, your smart TV, what is it picking up? The Wi-Fi, but from what? Or is it the Wi-Fi? These things have changed so much you wouldn't believe. I just turned 62 the other day, and yeah, my goodness. But anyway, it was saying earlier, just a few hours ago, that we were going to have 80-mile-per-hour winds. We are not near the Gulf. This is north of Dallas. We're not near the coast at all. And although this is hurricane weather, we're not near where there would be hurricanes. It's just what is expected here. We've had, when was it? Was it this, or was it May of last year? I think it was May of last year. It was 90-mile-per-hour winds, just boom, all of a sudden tore up so much stuff, and they were saying that it was going to take 3 months to clean it all up, for everything to be cleaned all up. Trees were down, you wouldn't believe. So much destruction. And this was Dallas-Fort Worth area, DFW area, seriously. Okay, but anyway, it's not happening yet. This, like I said, it's 4:44. They changed it to 6 o'clock. It was just supposed to look like some rain, but then they had the lightning strikes in it. I really don't think so. You see, that's the sky. You're looking at the color of the sky. It's blue. Yeah. And I'm looking around me. I don't see anything. But I will say, I've seen this before. Just sitting there, and it looks so beautiful, and all of a sudden, boom! But I'm not hearing any wind. It's not pushing it. So, anyway. I don't know if I'll put on this. Yeah, maybe. I'll go in. If I can have some quiet time when I go in, when I can just make the video. I'll add some stuff about highly sensitive people, or empaths, or whatever I find online, the AI overview. I've been doing AI overviews because I am curious about how I want to learn more about the AI overview, or just looking up stuff in AI mode. They changed that recently. And like I tell Adam, the AI has been around since how long? Eons. I had my first computer in 1982. Anyway, I can go on and on about it. The people who say that people in my age group, I'm a baby boomer, the last year of baby boomers, I think. But they say that we don't know anything about computers or cell phones. Who do you think invented this stuff? Come on. And of course, when the stuff is being invented, not everybody uses it. So, and by the way, Adam designed circuitry for, this is the way I put it, I don't know the way he put it. He was an electrical engineer design. He designed circuitry for cell phones back in the day. So who do you think invented this stuff? Right, exactly. So then it wasn't just ours. It was even before. 2 or 3, how many generations? And they just make me go, roll my eyes. And go, well, that's a newer thing. Not really. Anyway. But I like to look this stuff up. I want to see how it works. Because I was trained. I was a career student. My degrees are in psychology and sociology. I was trained about research, all kinds of ways, up and down and then around. I actually invented a methodology. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. It was really good. Seriously, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'm going to move on from that. I don't want to give too much private stuff, but all these years, not about that. Not about some of those stuff like that. But I was trained in how to even research. I'm kind of joking the way I'm going to put this and put it right there. But, what is credible? What is a credible source? And how people find those credible sources. And what do they, and to do so without looking for, confirmation bias, how not to be biased, and not to have an agenda when you're looking up these. I mean, you have to have something, but you see what I'm saying. Still losing my voice. Still have allergies. They will never go away. But, I was trained on how to use, to, like I said, it's going to be a funny way, research, do literary, oh my goodness, research, to research the research. Oh, that was funny. But to really understand it, to really know, to really go deep dive. And then this stuff about the AI, where is it getting it? Where is it finding this information? Does it know what is a credible source? Does it know whenever these are just somebody, or does it use just anybody gets online, writes some stuff about some topic, and it makes that a credible source? Or does it do that, or does it not? Who put in the guidelines? Can we do that? Can I go into my computer and convince it, con it into doing things the way that I think that it should? I wouldn't do that, but could somebody else? Could anybody? You see how I want to know more, and I want to read these, and I'm gonna say, well, I disagree. I was a career student over 20 years. I want to say, hey, on topics that I know about, that's wrong. That's not right. Yeah, that's my view, or I know for a fact. This kind of thing. But will I? I've already done some. It's on more than one channel. So anyway. Okay, so the clouds are starting to come in. Yeah. I mean, this is not taking that much time. It's 4:50 p.m. I'm amazed since I started doing it this way, making videos. I'm just amazed at how fast the clouds come in. They just dissipate. They're gone. The reason I'm doing this, by the way, like this is because on my birthday, My driver's license expired. I had been having a lot of problems going on health-wise, and lost one of my fur babies and a whole bunch of stuff, and I didn't schedule my, here we have to, I don't know where you are, but we have to schedule appointment. I've never heard of this ever before. Schedule the appointment to go in to renew it, and you can't speak to anybody. So I had no idea that, once it expired, a person could be, from what I understand, I could be wrong, because there's nobody I could speak to from the DPS, Department of Public Safety, to ask this question. But I saw something online, and I don't always trust what I see, online you see. And it said fine $200 and possibly jail sentence. No, thank you. So I'm not driving until it's about a month from now. Go and get mine renewed, and so instead of driving and making videos, I'm doing it. Do you see how those clouds are just moved out so fast? Wow. But so I'm doing it this way in my driveway, and actually I kind of like this because Adam's driving me around, and I have been the driver, the one doing all the driving, because I do not trust Adam's driving so much. I never have. He's a speed demon, lead foot, whatever you want to call it. And he's a little older than I. And he's always, this I've known him for almost going on 45 years. And that and those things, and he gets distracted. Yesterday, I'm telling you, the very first day he ran a red light while he was turning. Okay, while he was turning, it actually turned red as he was turned to the left. This is United States, so. And I said, see, you failed the test. I told him I was going to put him to test. I would rather take I wouldn't rather take an Uber or Lyft or whatever. No, a ride share. No, thank you. I have never yet, and I probably won't ever. I took a taxi. I know they're not the same thing, but I took a taxi way back in the 90s. And I said, that was it. No, thank you. Not trusting pure stranger. This is just not for me. It was insane. An insane ride. I took it to the university. Mine, I don't know what happened. I guess mine didn't work or something, or somebody had borrowed it. I don't know. Nobody borrowed it, but maybe it wouldn't start or something, and took a taxi to my university. Never again. So, yep. I just don't see that. But anyway, the good thing about all this is because I had been the person who did all the driving, all of these, I cannot tell you how many years. And maybe once every blue moon I was a passenger. I'm talking not even a blue moon. I'm talking very rare. Years could go by and I would not be. So I'm the one concentrating on driving where we live. I call it jokingly, sometimes I used to call it Narcissismville. And everybody thinks they own the road. Not everybody, of course. No, none of this is everybody. It's just that too many people tailgate. Big time tailgate. And just too many people weaving in and out, and I wave at them as I pass them by at the light because you're not getting very far. This kind of stuff. But because I would be concentrating on the road and the traffic, the bad way people drive, and trying to stay alive the whole while, I didn't get to see stuff going on around me. You're driving down the road and there are new things, new places over there. This is these are suburbs north of Dallas. And so many new things have cropped up, and I would never see them because I would be concentrating on driving. So now, just a few days ago was my birthday, and Adam, drives, and I'm looking around, I'm like, wow, seriously. I knew that would happen, but just the extent to which, oh my. Whoa, look at that. Wow, they have put this, oh my. I haven't been wowed in a long time with much of anything. But when it's been years, possibly decades, since I've seen, all this stuff happening, things weren't there and now they are. It's very interesting. It feels great to see such a difference. I know some people say, so what? You haven't had it happen to you. So, hey. Anyway, you know what? I think instead I'm just going to wrap this up. You see the new clouds moving in again? Yep. I do. I want to check on the computer and see what it says. When is it coming? If not, they're saying that it would be tonight, maybe 8 o'clock. One of them said 8 o'clock. That was on the Texas weather one. And another one said 11. So, you never know. It could go, we could do all this and then nothing happen. Which 80 mile per hour winds. And we're at level 4 out of 5 for tornado. They used to be called Torcon, wasn't it? Before that, things changed so much. I'm guessing they meant the same thing. Level 4 Torcon. Whatever it is now, everything changes at some point. But that's not something I want to be in. I mean, I'm Texan. I grew up along the Gulf. I've been through hurricanes and more tornadoes than I can imagine. I can't even count. Especially while driving between here, Dallas area, to where I grew up. Oh my! How many times we're driving down the road and we look over and there is a hurricane. There's not a hurricane, but a tornado. One time it was a hurricane. A hurricane shifted. This was decades ago, and I was by myself. A hurricane decided to, we didn't have the same thing back then. I don't even think I had a cell phone back then. And I don't think there were. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did not have a cell phone. Driving, coming up from the Houston area. I think I was somewhere near Conroe. Something like that. And the hurricane had shifted. I didn't know because I didn't have any of those kinds of things that would tell me. And I started all of a sudden riding the waves on the highway. Riding the waves. I don't know. I don't think it was the interstate. It could have been. But riding the waves in it was not an SUV. It was a truck. And I finally found a rest stop, got off of on the rest stop. I mean, it was a hurricane. I'm driving in a hurricane. Okay, I don't know if I had made it to Conroe yet or what, but once I stopped, there was a guy who was trying to jump in the back of my truck, in the bed of my truck. And what I kept doing, there were truckers out there, and I just kept driving up to them, and then I'd drive back real fast, and I'd drive up to them real fast, and back, to one of them, and back to the other, and back, driving, so that guy couldn't get in my truck. I'm serious. And finally, it stopped raining enough for me to take off. And I did. I mean, I felt sorry for the guy, of course, but you're not getting in the back of my truck. That's not happening. I'm a woman by myself out there. No. Oh, I don't know why you're out there walking around. So, and there are all these truckers. You need something, go to the truckers. If they're rejecting you, no. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I think I've rambled enough. I'll do the other one at another time. I'll talk to y'all in another video. Bye.